Hello, everyone. You're watching SGTV with Indraneel Basu. Today we have Mr. Dependable, Mr. Wall, and what all names can I call him? Mr. Cheteshwar Pujara. Welcome. A very warm welcome to SGTV, Cheteshwar.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Indraneel.
It's so good to see you. And as we type your name on Google, it's like that number of test matches. It's 80
Yeah,
plus. It's
yeah.
inching slowly towards that 100 test match club.
yeah.
So how beautiful is that feeling inside you? I mean, do you actually keep these numbers in mind?
Uh, Honestly, I don't keep any numbers in my mind, but it's always good to reach that mark because, when I started playing cricket, I never thought that I'll play 100 test matches. As a kid, I always wanted to play for the Indian team. And as a player, you want to be part of the Indian team, but you don't want to think about how many matches you will end up playing in your career because you want to play as many matches as possible and try and be part of the winning team. So this Indian team has done well over a period of time. Unfortunately, we lost in the finals, but overall, this team has done well in India and even overseas. So you want to be part of the victorious team and you want to win as many series as possible. And now there's World Test Championship, so you want to win that as well. So the journey has been really good, and if I'm getting closer to 100 test matches, it's going to be a big achievement for me personally. I'll be really proud to have played 100 test matches for the Indian team. But this journey always continues. I enjoy the journey. There have been ups and downs throughout my career, but the most important part is enjoying this game, and that is what I would love to do.
And we enjoy your batting. People really enjoy your batting. I personally learned so much watching you at this age.
Thank you.
But at coming to that typical style you have or waiting game, it's something which has been the hallmark of your test career.
Yeah.
Something which is not as flamboyant as the other stars, stroke making abilities and all that people talk about. But your thing
Yeah.
is really special. So what have you been doing to keep that standard intact all throughout? Because uh, there are days when you have that adrenaline inside, go out and smash the ball, which you can. I'm sure I've seen you doing
Yeah.
that so often also, which you can,
Yeah.
because the guys who can defend well can also attack well. I know that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's true.
how do you manage to keep that adrenaline under control when you're
See,
batting?
it always depends on the situation, depends on the condition. If the team is in trouble, if there's enough help for the bowlers, then you need to see through that spell and try and attack when the situation is slightly easier, when the ball is not moving much, it's not seeming much. So you have to assess the condition and situation of the team. And after that, if you are set as a batsman, I take a little bit of time. I start off a little slowly, but I always make up. Once I'm set, once I
Yes.
know that, I'm familiar with the bowlers, the conditions, then I try and play my natural game and I try and play my shots. But there are times when we are playing in India, when we are playing on flat pitches, then I score my runs quickly. I get my first 20, 30 runs in even 30, 40 balls. So it's almost run a ball start, which I get at times. It's not each and every innings, but it always depends on the situation and condition. So depending on that, you want to try and help the team. You want to build a partnership. I always bat at number three. So that's a crucial position. If we have lost
Good.
an early wicket, you want to be a little cautious, but at the same time, try and make sure that you always build a partnership, add few runs to the team's total, so team is not in trouble. So you always assess and then make your game plan.
And what I really like is the focus. You're going
Yeah,
out there and staying there. That alignment, standing on the crease, the head is behind the ball, the footwork, which is so special about you. I mean, three cricketers I can think from this current test team.
yeah,
They're really good at foot moving their feet. So and as you grow old, reflexes would slow down, but you have really kept at pace with the demands of international cricket. So how do you do it when you're 30 plus? Do you have to do extra workouts for those drills to keep your feet movement smooth as smooth it was earlier when you started off?
Yeah, the most important part is fitness. I truly believe that my fitness has improved a lot in last few years. I've been very particular about my diet, my sleeping pattern, the way I train. So fitness has helped me immensely. It also helps develop more concentration when you are fatigued. There are times when you are batting in the second innings and your body is fatigued, your body is tired. Mentally, you want to be up for it, but you physically you feel a little less energetic after feeling for a long, long time. But recent series with a lot of fitness, I've noticed that my concentration, my focus has improved a lot because of my fitness. So I try and keep working on my fitness, try and have a good routine, which helps improving my batting as well as my fitness. So yeah, recently I've worked a lot on my fitness.
And when people talk about, he's not as pacey as the as flamboyant as a lot of the other stroke makers in the team. I really like the way you carry yourself. You just focus on your game, and ultimately a cricketer needs to satisfy himself first, whether he's playing good cricket or not, and he would know if he's playing good cricket or not. And Cheteshwar Pujara, you are a perfect example how one should focus on oneself when you're
Yeah.
batting. Satisfy yourself first rather than satisfying the world. And if that happens, then it really helps the team, and which you've done. And look at the track record: 5 years we have been number one. And look at your
Yeah.
track record, your average. My God, it's something really commendable.
I feel that one needs to stick to their strength. If I know my strengths well and if I can stick to that, then I know that I'm doing the best job for the team because I know what I'm capable of. And even when it comes to team, when the team is in trouble, or there are different situations, there are different batters, and it's a team sport. So every batter has different technique, different temperament, and different stroke play. So one has to understand that and try and play accordingly. So I've understood my strength really well over a period of
Yes.
time, and even my shots, the kind of shots which I can play. There are some shots which you need to avoid in some conditions. So as long as you realize that, and if you have a proper game plan with that, then you can be successful at the international level and you can contribute a lot to the team.
And you have contributed so much, and we're so proud of that. But how inspiring was Rahul Dravid when you were playing and scoring tons and tons of runs for Saurashtra, and Rahul Dravid was there. You were getting prepared. I remember Sanjay Jagdale used to tell me, he's one cricketer who's going to go all the way, and he was right. Uh, so, how inspiring was Rahul Dravid when you were growing up? During that phase, playing.
He has been a great inspiration, not just for me, but many young cricketers growing up at that time. And even now, after he has become a mentor of the under 19 and the India A team, and now he's been with the Indian team also. So many young players have learned so many things from Rahul Bhai, and I'm the same. When I was playing Ranji Trophy, when I had an opportunity to interact with Rahul Bhai for the first time when Indian team visited Rajkot and I was playing for the Saurashtra team. I still remember that interaction. He didn't have a lot of time because he was captaining the Indian team and Indian team was supposed to play a game in Rajkot. But he told me that you're most welcome whenever you visit NCA, and I'll be around and we can have a long chat. And after that, I have interacted with him so many times. So it's been a wonderful journey, and Rahul Bhai he has helped me a lot. He has given me so many tips. I was actually fortunate enough to play along with him in my debut game, and then we toured to South Africa. That is when. I had a tough time, but I had a long chat with him that what are the things which I need to do to be successful overseas, and he had a lot of inputs then.
I remember. If correct me if I'm wrong, it was around the time when you got your first double hundred at home. Dhoni was there with you on the crease, and he actually told you that you have done it so many times at domestic cricket. It's going to be chalk and cheese for you, and you had a double hundred, isn't it? When he was there with you at the crease, he was very inspiring as a captain for you.
Yes, he has been a big inspiration for me, and even for the Indian cricket when we won the 2007 and 2011 World Cup, T20 and ODI both. And when I made my debut, Maibai was the captain. So, I've started my journey under his leadership. And I've learned a lot. The way he manages things, also the way he backs the youngsters. And at the same time, he always tells one thing I always remember is that one needs to stick to their strength and then
Absolutely.
try and improvise from there. You can't make a complete change as a cricketer. So whatever you have, you try and add a few things to it, but stick to your original strength and don't try and leave it. So that is something which I'll always remember throughout my career.
Absolutely. And this is one lesson everyone should learn. Never try to copy anyone. And
Yeah.
Cheteshwar Pujara is saying the same thing. Never, it'll take you nowhere. I mean, just stick to your
Yeah.
own strength. But
Yes.
your batting is it completely instinctive? I mean, do you actually have you ever do you plan to go after a bowling? Do you pre-plan? I mean, I know a preconceived notion and pre-planned thing won't work in batting, but
Yeah.
for you, is it 100% instinctive when you're batting, or you just
It
wait
is.
for
It,
those deliveries and dispatch them when you get an opportunity? And the first ball you face, you get a full toss. You won't spare that
yes.
ball, of course. You pounce on
Not
them.
at all. Not at all. So it is always instinctive, no doubt
Yeah,
about that. But
yeah,
I believe a lot in preparation. So if you want your instinct to take over in the game, you want to play those shots in the nets. So if you want to play a cut shot, you need to have a lot of repetitions in the nets to be successful when there's a loose ball outside the off stump. If you want to cut it, you should have done that at least 500 times so that you are confident enough of playing that shot in the game. So
yeah,
whatever shots you want to play, you just need to plan it in your net sessions. So whenever there's a loose ball, even if it's a cover drive, if you want to play a cover drive, you need to play that in net sessions for hours and hours, or uh, the number of repetitions. It depends on each and every individual, but I believe in quantity. There are times where I used to bat for hours and hours. Now I've understood my strength, so I know I don't need to bat for hours and hours. But still, if I want to work on a particular shot, I'll try and do that in the nets. And when I'm in the middle, my instinct it takes over. Even for defending or leaving the ball, if you keep
absolutely.
leaving the ball on fourth and fifth stumps in the nets, then you can do that in the match. But if you have the habit of playing bad shots in the nets, then the same thing will happen in a game.
That's what I keep telling whoever I meet. I'm not a Cheteshwar Pujara, but whenever you get into the net, make sure you don't get out, which is very important, isn't it?
Yeah, it is important to not get out in the nets, but at the same time, have a clear game plan when you are practicing. You
Mm,
can't just go and bat the way you want. You
mm,
need to figure out that what are the bowlers you are going to face in the match, what are their strengths, what kind of bowling they have, whether if a particular bowler has a good in swinger, you need to play a lot of in swinger in the nets. If a particular bowler, if it's a left arm spinner who is quick through the air, you need to play a lot of spin bowling in the nets. So you have to plan your net sessions accordingly, depending on who the opposition team is and what are their bowling strengths are.
So is good batting is all about good technique? I mean, I may not have the best of technique, but I middle the ball. My body, my bat is right behind the ball. My head is straight, and 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 I may not have the best of technique. I mean, the bat lift may not be the best.
Yeah.
So is it how do you define that? Is it
See, it is the right balance. Technique is important, but at the same time, even if you don't have the right technique, but if you know your way, if you know your strengths, if you don't have a good footwork, but if you have good hand-eye coordination, the classic example is Virender Sehwag. The way he used to smash the ball, he never had a big stride, but he could see the ball. He knew that this is the ball which is in my area, which is going out of the park, which is going for a four or a six. But if it is not there, he would still defend that ball or leave that ball. So he understood that there are some lengths which he can smash, and there are some lengths which he had to either defend or leave. So as a batter, I always feel that once you know your game, even if you don't have good technique, then it comes to the mental aspect. If you are mentally tough, if you know that there are some balls which you will have to avoid playing shots to, then you should be mentally tough enough to avoid those shots. And as long as you understand your strength as a batter, it's all about getting those runs. No matter how your technique is, if you can score 50 or 100 in an important game, whether it's first class game, whether it's an international game, if you can do it with whatever technique you have, then you know your game. You know how to score runs, and that's the most important thing as a batter.
Cheteshwar, what was the special recipe, the secret recipe of that fabulous five? Sehwag, Rahul Dravid, Sachin Tendulkar, VVS Lakshman, Saurav Ganguly. They were like the best crop of batsmen, coming in one group. It's never happened in Indian cricket. Perhaps till we saw this, the entire Virat Kohlis and Rahanes and Pujaras and coming in, and the fabulous three. But tell me something. What you thought was the secret? What do you think, even now today? The secret recipe of that Fab Five.
I think their work ethics, they were very disciplined on the field and even off the field. I feel that when it comes to test format, the way you live your life is also very important.
Absolutely.
Uh, in a test format, it is very challenging mentally and physically because it's played over a period of 5 days. So both the innings are very important as a bowling unit and even as a batting unit. As a batter, if you get out early in the first innings, yes, you get disappointed, but there is an important role to play even in the second innings. So mentally, although you have a tough day on day one, day two, or day three, whatever it is when you bat first, but you still have a job to do in second innings, and it could be day four or day five. So as long as you are up for it, as long as mentally you are clear about what you want to do in the second innings, then you have a chance to come back. So I felt that they were all the great players. Their work ethics have been fantastic. They never got disappointed with their failures. They kept coming back, and they lived a very disciplined life. They were very focused.
You carried that Fab Five legacy forward. What you're talking about, which is so commendable, and you have the same sort of work ethics on and off the field. You talk about fitness, your diet, your sleep. You're carrying that what Rahul Dravid, the likes of Rahul Dravid used to do, which is wonderful to see. What was your first impression when you saw Rishabh Pant, who is again a star right now, and who walked into the test team, the dressing room? What was your first thought that came to your mind when you saw Rishabh walking into the test team?
Well, the way he plays, you always know that if there are any spinners bowling, the ball is going out of the park. No matter if there's a long on, long off, there's a deep mid wicket, deep cover. No matter where the fielders are, any ground in a cricketing field is very small for him. He can
Yeah,
hit into the stands in biggest ground in the world. So first, when I saw him, he was very attacking player, and I always felt that if he could play well against the fast bowlers, because he could smash any spinner in the world, and with the way he plays his shots, he has a great career ahead. And important thing is the way he handles the fast bowlers. I still feel that he can play all the shots in the world, but if he can figure out which are the shots he needs to play and which are the shots which he needs to avoid, then he will become a great player.
and who would dare to reverse sweep, or that the against Anderson, he played that shot during the England series into 2021. Oh, it was
Not in red ball cricket. No way. I don't see any other player having that courage to play a reverse sweep in red ball cricket. When it comes to white ball cricket, yes, many cricketers do that, but I think it's only Rishabh Pant who can play that shot.
but don't you think there is a sort of fearlessness of the Indian Test team over the years that has also helped the team to become what it is today?
Yes, you need to be fearless. At the same time, you need to constantly work hard to achieve greater heights. It's not just about one day, but it's over a period of time. And when it comes to Test cricket, there are a lot of challenges. It's not just one game or one series because it's series after series. Whether it's in India, whether it's in South Africa, Australia, England, each and every uh, country has its own challenges. So as a batter or even as a bowler, you need to understand those challenges and live up to it. Because even for bowlers, they need a lot of fitness. They need to adjust their line and length. So it's never easy. when it comes to white ball cricket, you know that these are the line and lengths which you can continue to bowl in most of the conditions. But when it comes to red ball, they need to alter that. So I feel that this Indian team, has understood that the team is very experienced, and that's the most important thing. If you use your experience well, then you can become a great team. And when it comes to work ethics, truly believe that all the young players have very good work ethics, because most of the senior players in this team got inspiration from the great players in this game. You have named Feb Five, but I think when I grew up watching, I used to love watching all players who used to play for the Indian team, and it was my dream. So each and every player was important. Yes, all the all the great batters have contributed a lot, but at the same time, I used to love Indian bowling. I Because it's not just batting which wins the game. Even bowling is very important. So I used to, when I was kid, I used to love our bowling. Whenever we used to get a wicket, I used to cheer. I used to jump. So in our sport, each and every player is important, and yes, we have done exceptionally well over a period of time, and I think India has a lot of talent. So even going forward, we can be the best team in the world.